Hey everybody, it's Miss Lisa and it's football season. Who's excited for some football? I know we are in this house. We've got some Charger fans, we've got some Rams fans, and we even have a Bears fan in the house. So, how about you? Do you guys like football? Who's your favorite team? You can make a little comment after this video and tell me who your family's favorite team is, or maybe you have a rival team in your family. Maybe your parents like one and you like another, and you guys, you know, place bets on who's going to win. So it's a really fun time of year, and so we're going to be making our football. So go to your packets and go ahead and pull out your football, and let's go ahead and get started. So some of you have a half of a football, some of you have the whole football, but for right now we're not going to do the cutting. We're actually going to start grabbing your little baggie and grabbing these little brown pieces of paper. We're going to start with our paper first. Now on this activity, there's my glue stick, it's far away from me. On this activity, you may need both glue and a glue stick. I find that putting tissue paper on glue stick glue is a lot easier. If you don't have a glue stick, no big deal. Parents, you can help your child just kind of smear it, or you can smear it with your finger, or just make little zigzags. So not a big deal. So your tissue, keep it all in a line, and you can see that I actually made little notches for you, making it easy. So we're gonna make just some tears. We're gonna make a pile of brown tissue squares by ripping. And parents of my young ones, you may need to help them. Believe it or not, this opposite motion of tearing can be quite tricky for some kids. So you can help them stabilize one hand and pull down with the other, or for more advanced, twisting in the opposite motion to make it tear. So whichever easiest, but practice different ways with your child, but don't get frustrated, because actually tearing is a really good fine motor skill, and some students may have a hard time doing it, so we just have to give lots of patience. So I'm going to do this quickly, and you know what I had to do before this project, and I probably should have mentioned in the beginning, was we have fans overhead, and you want to make sure maybe that you turn off any fan in the room, because tissue paper likes to fly, and it can be very frustrating when that tissue paper flies. So go ahead and put glue all over your football, just trying to stay within the line so you can have your child, practice just tracing around the lines and then filling it all in. And don't worry about those X's. We're actually going to be covering up, and we're going to be using little shoelaces or the little yarn pieces that I included to make the laces on our football. So I'm going to do this rather quickly. Go ahead, and if you need to pause it to have more time, you can. But you go ahead and cover up your entire football with paper. And sometimes I need to cue my kiddos, like, hey, make sure that you don't just keep putting the paper right on top of each other. You want to space it out. See how Miss Lisa's doing it? And I'm spacing it out and covering just the white. So some of my kids, you're going to need to cue them and say, where's the white? Okay, put it on. Where's the white? Put it on. And it's okay if it goes outside, because when we cut out the football, it'll be okay, because then, those edges will be just trimmed off. And it looks like, I don't know about you, but it looks like I'm going to have enough to cover it all, and maybe even not have any white spaces. So that'll be kind of fun. And it's fun to do it kind of random. You don't have to tell, your child doesn't have to do it side by side. It's just kind of more fun to make it random. See how I even went outside the line, and that's okay, because that's going to be trimmed off at the end, and you can see that dark cutting line through that tissue paper. So I'm going to keep going and maybe fill in some of those white spots. How are you guys doing out there with filling up your football? Is it looking brown? Kind of fun. Give it some texture. I can't wait to hear some of those teams out there that you guys like. And also, I know we're not going to have a college ball, but if anybody has a favorite college football team, feel free to comment on that as well too. Okay, we've got a little bit more on the edge here. If we did have college football, my team would be USC, because that's the school that I went to. Oftentimes, moms and dads root for the college team that they went to. So that's mine. But see, we're split house because my husband likes UCLA. So anyway, so I've got all my paper, all my tissue paper on, and that's when we're gonna get our scissors, and we're gonna go ahead and cut it out. And if your child's having a hard time, maybe they did their tissue paper too thick on the edge, you can always help them. But again, some of us have already half of it cut out, some of us have to cut out the whole football. So remember, 2 fingers on the bottom, 1 on top, or thumb on top. Open up those scissors, tuck that elbow in, and let's go ahead and follow that line. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Okay, cutting that football out. It's looking good. Do you see how I'm holding it, and I'm not going to turn with my elbow when I get to the end. I'm going to keep that elbow tucked in, and I'm going to turn with my other arm. And that's okay if this elbow wants to flail out. You'll eventually be able to keep it in a little more, but I'm okay with that. Okay, I've got my football cut out. How's yours looking? I'd love to see it. Hopefully you guys can post pictures. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put away my glue stick because you will need some thicker glue for the laces. So here's where we got our pincher fingers. We're gonna need to use those to put those laces on your football. All right, now parents, you can put X's where you want your child, oh, my crayon just broke. You can put X's where you want your child to put the glue, but sometimes it's just easier to do it for them, to have that visual cue of where they should lay their laces. So I'm gonna make some X's with my glue. And if you have tacky glue at home, that works even better. There's actually like a tacky craft glue, but I did X's with my glue. They're pretty thick, you can see there, so that the laces will stay. But you're gonna, oops, pincher, pincher, pinch, 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 and you're going to pick it up and put it on the glue. Now your child may get some sticky fingers. That's okay, you can have a napkin nearby to help wipe it off. But I'm gonna go ahead and make my X with my laces. And the good thing is this white glue does dry clear. So it looks a little messy right now before it dries, but it's gonna look super duper cute once it does, because then the laces actually look like professional laces on a football. So I put them on kind of quickly, and mine's pretty messy right now, but that's okay. See how mine's kind of messy, but all that glue is gonna dry clear. So there we go. So now that we have our football, let's go ahead and put it down to the side, and we're going to grab our green paper. So on your green paper, it's like mine. You've got green paper with black dots at the top and black dots at the bottom. What do you think this is gonna be? Our football field. Yes, it is. So let's grab that black crayon that you guys have. Mine is now short because it broke. But go ahead and we're going to draw straight lines, okay? From top to bottom. Oh, it would be helpful if I had something behind this so that I could draw better lines. But straight line down, dot. I'm going to do the rest of them down so they can be a little straighter. Straight line down, straight line down, straight line down. Excellent. So these are the lines on the football field. Okay? So now you've got a football field, but we've got more to write. Parents, you may need to help your kids with this and trace it out, but we got to make the yard lines. So the middle is always the 50-yard line, and then this is 40, and these two will be 30. So parents, you may want to trace it out either with a highlighter or a dot, dot, dot. I'm just going to do the 50-yard line with dot, dot, dot so that you can see how I did it. But I did, oh, I don't know if you could see that. But right here, I dot, dot, dotted out 50 and put an underline, so then your child can come and trace 50. with a line underneath like that, okay? And then we're going to do the 40-yard lines, and the 40-yard lines are on either side. So we've got 40, 4, 0, and underline. I'm kind of making my numbers pretty big. You can make yours a little smaller. And then this is going to be your what? 50, 40, 30. Very good. Okay, 30-yard line. So start at the top, come around and around. 30. And that 0 is just like your O's. So it's going to be your magic C. Close it up. Excellent. So on the other side of this 50-yard line is also the 40. Because when football, and you can have your parents explain this a little more if I don't explain it correctly, but in football, you've got your end line, your goalposts at the ends, and the 50-yard line. So one team needs to go this way, and one team needs to go this way. So in total, it's 100 yards. So now on mine, that looks backwards because the phone is flipped. So hopefully you could see that okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make the 40 on this side and the 30 on this side. Very cute. Okay, so now that we have our yard lines, we're going to glue our football. Now, do we turn it over with all that wet, sticky glue? Ooh, go ahead. And let's put some dots around here so we know where we're putting our glue. And then we can put the football on, okay? So maybe we could do, let's see, 4 dots maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 dots should hold our football. I made it into a, what shape is that? If I were to connect those, what shape would that be? Yeah, I just made it into a diamond shape. Just a dot, not a lot. No puddles here, folks. Just a dot. And let's go ahead and glue our football, onto our grassy playing field. And there you go. Okay, now some of you have a little saying down here that you're gonna glue on, and it says, "Are you ready for some football?" Hey, we are. And some of you are actually gonna write it out. If you have a sentence strip like mine, and you're going to be writing it out, there's going to be an attached video. Otherwise, for my other kiddos, you're just gonna go ahead and glue, "Are you ready for some football?" And then I'd like for you to work at least 10 minutes on your yellow writing packets. And again, if your parents are able to take pictures and email it to me, or attach it to your drive, that would be in a different way too, or another way that I can see your pictures. But I just love seeing your crafts. I miss you guys terribly, and I love seeing how things turn out. So if you're able to, great. If not, just even if you want to shoot me a comment, be like, "Miss Lisa, this was fun," or "Miss Lisa, this was a little bit hard." Anything you want to say. I just love hearing from my students. So have fun with this. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Happy football season. All right, and I will see you guys next week. All right, thanks. Bye.